Okay, this is me trying to record this for the third time because TikTok keeps trying to add a filter and I keep trying to take it off. So I don't know what the deal is. It's that, like, when you start a video over here, there's that little person and it's like the light touch filter. I unchecked the check mark and it says it's off, but I don't know what's happening. So if it's there, I apologize. It's not how I roll. It's not even what I want to talk about today. Let's talk about the Microsoft Diagnostic AI. There was just a report published that said that Microsoft AI, diagnostic AI, got the diagnosis rate 85% of the time, where a normal physician only got the diagnosis rate 19.9%. And that sounds like a huge difference, but let's talk about what the study actually looked at. So, Microsoft AI was given cases out of some of the top journals that were kind of those like most difficult cases ever kind of thing. And they were given all the diagnostic criteria and access to a large database to search, right? Because they can go anywhere, they can crawl any public journal that they have access to, they can crawl the web, whatever, right? So they had all of that. The physicians, in comparison, were given the symptoms, length of symptoms, and the current biggest complaint or most confounding symptom for the same cases. The Microsoft Diagnostic AI was also given 256 cases. The physicians were given 56 cases. And they weren't like easy cases. These were the ones where like people were dying and whole teams had to figure out what was going on with them, like teams of 12 to 20 people. But one physician was given the case and told to figure it out. They weren't allowed reference material, they weren't allowed medical journals, they weren't allowed any of that, but the AI was. They also weren't allowed to consult with their colleagues. They weren't allowed to run any additional testing. They were just given the data that was presented in the case study, and that's it. And that's not how teams work together when there's a huge diagnosis. And then let's get into what the AI recommended for treatment versus what the physicians recommended for treatment. In the cases where the physicians got it right, so the 20%, their treatment protocols were more in line with what the case studies ended up doing that saved the patient's life, where the AI would have drug on treatment for somewhere between 6 and 9 months. The AI also wrote some prescriptions for the patient that were previously tried and the patient had negative reactions to. And I've watched this in real time where somebody came in this week and was talking to someone that I am going to start working with on the functional medicine side to help support my patients. And they said, well, AI said, and she listed off what AI said about the things that had come back in her blood work. And it was all the very traditional things for medical that she has been trying that have not been working. And it even advised her against some things that I mean, even just this morning, I saw a video posted by a GI doc that we know actually can be helpful. And we know that there's a deficiency in because the results on it are 1 in 4 people have this deficiency. And she was like, no, well, AI said, and here's the thing. AI is searching all of the current, quote, body of evidence. And the current body of evidence is about 7 years behind. So when research gets done, it has to pass certain criteria to meet publication requirements. So when we're looking at best evidence practice, most of it is like 7 to 20 years behind what is actually being researched. In my opinion, that's not the best evidence medicine. And no, when you're looking at things that are showing crazy results and they don't have like 20 years of research behind them and they're not, quote, peer reviewed, maybe that's not what you consider the best evidence. But when we see something that's so compelling, they were like, oh, we have to do that. Like one of the trials that they did for women who were pregnant with twins regarding blood clots is they started dosing a baby aspirin to some women, but not all. And the results were such that they had to stop the study because it became detrimental to the pregnant women who were not getting the baby aspirin for developing blood clots. Mid study, they stopped it and said, this is just the standard now, period. That wasn't peer reviewed, and yet it saved lives of babies and moms everywhere. The other thing you want to consider is that what your physician is trained on is symptom management with medication. Well, that's what the AI models are also trained on. They aren't trained on, let's figure out what went wrong, where the deficiency happened, and let's repair the deficiency so that we can repair the system. That's not what the research is based on, because that's not what medical schools can get funding for, because you can't patent a vitamin. You can't patent telling someone, I need you to walk for 15 minutes every day after a meal. I need you to actually get enough protein in a day. I need you to drink enough water. I need you to get electrolytes. You can't patent that. So the AI that you're asking about how to fix your health condition is trained still in very traditional medicine, and especially if it's not a paid version and you're not training it by saying, hey, I want you to come look at this research study specifically, and you give it the research study that you want it to evaluate, or the 5 research studies you want it to evaluate that are a more, quote, functional medicine or holistic medicine approach or Chinese medicine or Ayurvedic approach to your specific disease process. You can't train it if you're not paying for it. And therefore, the answers that you get back will always still be within the traditional medical realm. And what if some of your brain fog? What if some of your issues with your GI system? What if some of your issues with your menstrual cycle or something as simple as a vitamin B1 deficiency and you're missing it because the research isn't showing you that in your AI because your AI is trained to make you believe that you're dying and that the only way you can be saved is to go get all these procedures and tests done that are going to cost thousands. While I love that the AI can look at multiple cases faster than any human ever could, it's not a replacement for care. Now, here's where it serves a huge benefit. Let's say there's something going on in a really small town and it looks abnormal, kind of like think Aaron Brockovich era, right? Like rural towns, highest incidence of cancer, even compared to areas around what's causing it. So, and you don't know what the different types of cancer are. Or a rare thing is hitting a certain population of people in a certain area, and you're looking for answers in a rural area where there's not a huge collaborative team. Then the AI serves a huge purpose, right? Because it gives them a faster ability to look through the material and contact people who are seeing this in other areas of the country so that they can reach out on your behalf to try and get you better care. That's a good use of it. To just say we don't need physicians anymore, I think that's wrong. To say I could use AI to build my own functional medicine protocol, I think also is wrong. Because I think what we're going to see long term is that people don't have all the data and they're still going based off of what the basically biased AI is telling them, and they could end up doing harm. And if physicians become too reliant on it because they're asked to see too many patients in a day, they might also miss things like a previous interaction with a medication. And wrong prescriptions, look up the highest cause of medical death in the US. Look it up. These are just my thoughts. You can do whatever you want with AI.